Hi, I'm Thomas Lamb. I'm CEO of Myriad Uranium Corp. We are a uranium junior, an explorer. We have two projects, very exciting projects. One is in Niger, in West Africa. It's right next to some of the biggest, most exciting uranium deposits in the world. And our principal project is in Wyoming. It's called Copper Mountain. It's got a lot of historic resource and an exciting exploration potential also. So I'm excited to tell you all about it.
Good to see you here. And we are going to rip through this because we've both had a long day already.
Yeah, exactly.
So good. Look, okay, let's talk about the two projects. What I want to do is sort of introduce people to you. And this is not a case of jumping on the bandwagon. You've got a history of building companies up, selling them for money, and making people money. Okay, so this isn't a case of it's uranium, let's go, kids.
Sure.
Niger. Let's start with that. Let's describe to people what you've got, who's near you, and why that has some value.
Yep, great. I'll mention that a year ago, our company had the same market cap at $50 uranium as it does now at almost $100 uranium. Right. And it's because we have 1,800 square kilometers plus in Niger across 4 licenses. And these are old Areva-Orano licenses that they were forced to relinquish after Fukushima, reluctantly. They sit just a few kilometers from Immereren, which is the world's second largest uranium deposit. We're on the same structure. Just a little bit north, same structure, same license, Madawela, GoviX's Madawela, your viewers are probably familiar with that. Yeah. And same structure, northern boundary, Somer and Cominac. These are the uranium mines operating in Niger. So we have position A exploration licenses in Niger. A little further south, we have another license right next to Global Atomics DASA, which of course is the best deposit in Africa right now.
Absolutely, one of the best development stories in North America too, right? Okay, so you're in the right part of the world, right jurisdiction, that's for sure. But obviously Niger coup put you in a position of, right, well, we need to kind of de-risk this from a jurisdictional point of view. Yeah. I know things are, well, actually tell us. Obviously things are kind of leveling out a bit in Niger. I think it's back to usual.
Partway almost back to usual, but that's exactly what happened. So we have this amazing exploration package. We're flying high. We're doing the, beautifully the coup in July in Niger. So that, what do we do? How long is this coup going to take to resolve? It's in the process of resolving, almost there. Yep. But we had to do something. We pivoted to Wyoming, and we got extraordinarily lucky. Don't even know how to. We're pinching ourselves. Yeah. What we did is we signed a letter of intent to acquire a 75% interest in the Copper Mountain Uranium Project. All we knew, and all our partners knew about it, was that it was a past producer, quite a bit of work done on it. The 43-101 said, go find data or start a maiden drill program, one or the other, because we don't know anything, we don't even know what to tell you. This is the authors of the 43-101. And that was almost exactly a year ago. The 43-101 was completed in March 2023. So there we are, we have this letter of intent that we signed, and our partner's CEO, Pete Smith, Rush Rare Metals is the name of our partner. He was in Wyoming, encountered a rancher in pickup trucks. Make a long story short, the rancher said, I've got some data you might want. Pete said, that's amazing, because we were worried we may never get any data. It was like Ark of the Covenant. Opened up went to the guy's house.
Glow.
Yeah, had some coffee, looked at this data, mind was blown. Yeah, I mean, Pete's a lawyer like me, a professional background, so he couldn't really fully understand it. He knew it looked interesting. Grabbed it, paid the gentleman some money for it, and then 3 weeks later, we went back with a truck, loaded the truck up, back to Vancouver, went through the data, and here's the beautiful story. Union Pacific had spent today's dollars $117 million developing this project. So we signed the deal before either of us knew about this. 117 million today's dollars, 2,000 drill holes, identified 6 uranium deposits, estimated resource 15 to 30 million pounds. That was for mine planning purposes. Right. And with an exploration target relating to 2 of the 6 deposits of above 63 million pounds. And then talking about huge exploration upside beyond that. So we're looking at these documents, and
Yeah.
we can't believe our luck.
So what do we know about that's a lot of pounds, first of all.
It's a lot of pounds. One of the
Right.
biggest in Wyoming, potentially.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what do we know about grade? Was any work done on that, or recoveries, or
Absolutely.
network?
So they did a lot of work on estimating grade and recoveries. So it's very highly leachable ore. Recoveries are well into the 90s, about 95%. And you do not need a mill. So everybody out there who's looking at these projects up and down the central U.S.
Say that again. You don't need a mill.
don't need a mill. Unlike, for example, in Colorado, a lot of the projects you might see,
Yeah.
they have brown coal-related, lignite-related uranium deposits. You're going to have to mill that.
Right.
And where are you going to find the mill? I mean, that you don't necessarily see that on the PowerPoint slides
Yeah.
for these companies.
Yeah.
So this ore, the studies show, is really easy. You put it on a heap leach, and just like recovering copper or gold, and you get 95% recoveries. So really nice.
Yeah. But so,
I was surprised. Yeah. I mean, you might have to do some processing, but it's
Yeah.
but it's not like you have to build a $300 million mill.
okay, so we just want to be clear about what we're sitting on here, because we've seen a lot of 2 men in a wheelbarrow type projects
Sure.
been put out into the marketplace and valued nuts, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Your Niger, the country's sorting itself out, I think, and all the other existing producers and developers in country are kind of getting back to some sense of normality in terms of being able to move, get materials into country, etc. I think it kind of dragged on a bit because of their stance with France.
Yeah.
So, and for people who don't understand Africa too well, I've worked in 25 countries there have been like about 100 coups, not even kidding you, since 1950s. It's a kind of government, transitional government move. Which
It's their way of
we don't understand,
changing the regime, yeah.
But it's a change of regime, and they tend to go away quite quickly. I think this one lingered a bit because the French were like, well, hang on a sec, guys.
They had that issue to resolve.
There's that, right? So I think they've generally accepted the new government, and they've agreed to a bunch of stuff that needs to happen. So Niger could be of value to you. I don't necessarily think people are giving you the credit of that right now.
Not yet.
Right. So we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, a North American story is always exciting, and if you're starting somewhere between 30 and 63 million pounds, that's a good
big.
Bit of work to do. You're going to need to raise a bit of money, kind of prove that up, because there's a lot of old historical work being done, but you're going to need to prove that up. So how do you play the North American story?
Exactly right. So, the grades are in the hundreds of ppm. If you really go broad and you are extremely conservative, you asked about grade earlier, it could be as low as 170 ppm with 100 ppm cutoff. If you're going to go broad and not conservative in terms of you do the calculations, but call it 400 ppm, and somewhere in the range of 15 to 30 million pounds. However, as your viewers, I think, will be able to read by the time this video gets published, there's a lot of high grade, and we have figured out a lot in the last few weeks. The northern part of the central deposit has a high grade section, and we're going to be talking about that. It's probably going to be out by the time you're, well, it will be. So what do? You bring the resources current, and that's how we're going to, could be order of magnitude leap in the value of the company. Because we have these historic resources, our market cap is only $12 million Canadian, and what if we have a 15, if we say we concentrate in an area, we bring that 15 million pounds current at a significantly higher, on 43101, disclaimers, et cetera, at a significantly higher grade than what the historical documents, what we've talked about in the past. Yeah. So we could hopefully have a current historic resource sooner rather than later, and that is the goal. So we're going to work towards that.
Brilliant. That's what we're going to need to see. And if you do that, that's going to put you on the level of a few other North Americans who, similar tonnage, obviously we're going to be interested in the recoveries and the economics, etc., and the process you're going to have to go through. But that sounds super exciting. So even say if Niger does sort itself out, do you feel that you've kind of stumbled across something that's even better? So flagship was Niger. It has some value, but this really is turning something that you weren't expecting.
We thought we were acquiring a 75% earnable interest in something we were going to have to spend money on to figure out. And maybe it was going to be good, maybe it wasn't, we didn't know. Instead, we've acquired a 75% earnable interest with a path to 100%, by the way. That interest is in something that has had an enormous amount of money spent on it. 2,000 drill holes, 6 deposits, huge exploration upside. And by the way, Union Pacific, that did the work in the 70s, they were focused on like a kind of moderate grade, bulk tonnage approach to mining. They were just about to build a mine. That's another thing we found out in the data. Just about to start mining in 1979, 3 Mile Island, et cetera. There's high grade there. Instead of a 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 ppm, there's 1,000 ppm up to 3,000 ppm if you focus on the veins. And we get to do that because we understand it now based on the data. Union Pacific, there's new information has come to light.
I'm most excited I've seen you.
Yeah, well, there's a lot has been happening in the last week or two, that I haven't been able to tell the world, and by the time this video comes out, the world will see, because we'll have talked about it in the news.
I think you said enough, because I wanted to get you in front of people and want to see you again, obviously face to face again.
Sure.
And here where
can I add one thing?
Go for it.
In situ recovery in the 70s. Union Pacific was cautiously optimistic about in situ recovery potential, and we still are. Our experts are. So if we can, recoveries of the ore, if we put it on a heap leach, excellent. But even better potentially is in situ, of course, and there is potential for that. So we're going to, and that would be great. And we do have high grade, and we are adding acreage around. I'm very excited about it.
It's like, honestly,
thank you.
You couldn't play poker.
No, I'm the worst. I have to scab. I lose it every time.
Look, come back on and tell us in more gruesome detail when you've done more work. But I'm pleased for you.
Thank you. It's looking great.
You make your luck by working hard. So well done you.
Thank you very much. Great to see you.